I'm sorry I haven't been over before, but it's been really hectic at the stud. Not that that's an excuse.
Oh, don't worry about it.
So, how are you feeling?
I'm fine.
Look, I know we've had our difficulties in the past, but I just wanted to say how grateful I am to you for all you've said in my defense. I feel awful about Steve. I still can't believe it.
No one's blaming you, Kim. It wasn't you who tried to kill me.
It just shows how wrong you can be. I really thought it might work with him.
Well, it's not your fault.
I'm just relieved that you're okay.
Could I have everyone's attention for a moment? Now, as you may or may
You were
not...
saying last week about divorcing Steve.
Oh, yes.
Do you really think it's necessary?
You're married to a man who's accused of attempted murder. It's not very good for business. People are easily put off.
Yeah, I know. So do you think I should take some steps?
I can't make that decision for you. But what do you have to gain by staying married to him? Steve's almost certainly going to go to prison, and your business won't survive as things stand.
We've only been married 6 months.
Now, I'd just like to propose a toast to Paddy, my new partner.
To Paddy.
Paddy.
Well, come on, love. Are we not going to get a speech?
Give us a sweet.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming.
It's our pleasure, lad.
You again? I just wanted to let you know in person how sorry I am for your sad loss. What? There's nothing definite yet, but apparently Kim Marchant's divorcing her husband. Oh, that would be you, I suppose. Elaine, you really had no idea, did you? This gets better by the second.
Kim isn't divorcing me.
Look, what is it you want? To support you. The husband's always the last to know, Steve. About the divorce, about where the money's hidden. Oh, what have you done to deserve this?
Hello? I don't care how important it is. You do not ring me on the mobile. I could have been with anybody. What are you playing at, you idiot?
Well, there must have been a long queue for the prison phone if it's taken him this long to get you.
It was the insurance company.
Well, I sincerely hope not. They won't give you a penny if you talk to them like that.
Go away, you slimy little creep.
Is that what your lawyers are going to say to Steve when they serve the divorce papers on him? You shouldn't blab at parties. You've got a voice like a foghorn. I heard everything you said to Laura.
All right. I am going to divorce him. Marrying Steve was the worst thing I ever did. He took my home away from me, left James and me destitute. Then I find out that he knocked Kathy down while stealing one of my horses. Wouldn't you want him out of your life?
Well, that's just what I said to him this morning. Left him in a bit of a state, actually.
You what?
Well, someone's got to visit the poor lad.
I shouldn't be here. Popping in and out's only going to raise suspicion. Now, what's wrong?
Well, apart from the obvious, nothing, I hope.
Is someone hassling you?
You tell me. I'm festering in here. No control anymore. You start believing things, and I really don't want to believe this.
Why don't you calm down and just tell me what the hell's going on?
I hear I'm about to be divorced.
Oh, why is that such a shock?
Kim? I thought it was a wind-up when Chris told me. But you didn't think about mentioning it yourself?
It's a detail. While you're brooding in here all day, I'm the one who has to face people.
Yeah, but divorce?
They're all on at me, all the time. Either you're for Steve or you're against him. And if you're against him, then why stay married to him? On and on. I can't get out of it.
Things get really confusing.
You've only got yourself to blame if you let Chris inside your head.
I can't handle it, Kim.
You'll have to.
Look, I shouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Cassie.
Shut up. You should thank God I stopped you. You'd make a worse killer than you do a horse thief.
Don't.
This is the only way. I'm taking care of everything. You have to trust me or we're all finished. You, me, and James. Is that what you want?
Kim.
What are you doing? That guard was watching us. Get a grip, Steve. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Trouble?
I'm not sure. I'll need some time off this afternoon.
Okay. Anything I can do?
No, that was Steve's solicitor.
Why? What's wrong?
Things sort of went pear-shaped, thanks to Chris.
Oh, what's he done now?
He's found out that I want to divorce Steve.
I don't believe it.
What?
He found out at Zoe's party. I warned him to stay out of it.
Well, he obviously takes less notice of you than he does of me. Chris went straight to Steve to stir things up.
I'll stir him up.
Thanks for coming.
It's the least I could do.
I'll sit down. Please.
So what's wrong? I know there's something wrong, I can tell.
I need your advice. He's not going to let it go.
What can he do?
He's a DI. I imagine there's quite a lot he can do.
Spaulding's trying it on.
Yeah, well, he's got me convinced.
You're wrong. Just sit tight and stick with the plan. Hitting Kathy was an accident. Reckless driving. They'll never prove attempted murder. Theft of a horse? Well, that's nothing. You'll be out in 12 months at the most. Then we can spend our money in the sun.
Yeah, but they must think they can prove it was attempted murder. Otherwise, they wouldn't be going for it. He wants the money, Kim. Or he reckons I'm looking at a longer sentence.
He's bluffing.
Well, that's easy for you to say, but I'm the one who's looking at doing some hard time.
Trust me.
I do.
Good.
I've got an idea.
What?
We tell Spaulding we got 100 grand for the horse. You split the 200 we actually got, hide half of it somewhere, and I'll tell him where it is.
But...
With what's left, plus the insurance money, we'll still have 300. I'll do a few months' time, and everybody's happy.
And what if Spaulding doesn't believe you?
He will.
It's too risky.
Are you saying you won't help me get out of here sooner? I never can stand it in here much longer.
You have to be strong.
I always thought I was. I've been in here less than a month. I don't think I can take more than this. I need some of the money, Kim. Our money.
I think that would be a mistake.
Why?
Spaulding's not stupid. You said so yourself. If you give over some of the money, he'll know you're holding out on the rest.
No, he'll see I'm trying to cooperate.
He'll want the rest.
It's worth a try.
It's important that we just keep our nerve. And the money.
What about we half the money? Give up 50 grand. Tell him that's all we got.
That's even worse. He'll never believe we got so little.
Kim, I'm desperate.
I know. I'll do what I can. I'm here for you.
But not tonight. Not when that cell door closes.
If there was anything else I could do.
But not the money.
I just think it would be the wrong thing to do.
Fine. If that's how things are.
Has Chris said anything else?
No? Why?
Don't let him get to you. He's trying to drive a wedge between us. We're all that each of us have got.
I know.
I wish I could kiss you. I should go.
Yeah.
Bye then.
Inspector Spaulding. Steve Marchant. I've been thinking about what you said. Oh, we should have a little chat. I've got something very interesting to tell you about the robbery.
My client would like to change his statement.
Really? Well, you'd better make it good.
Oh, I will. You see, my previous statement was incorrect.
So you're innocent?
No, just not solely guilty. You see, it wasn't my idea. I just followed the plan.
Whose plan?
I just did as she told me to do.
What? Who told you to do?
Kim. It was all her idea. First of all, the theft actually took place during the day. Kim took Orsino, and I sold him on to my contact, Helen Dixon.
And this was during the day?
Yep. And that night we made sure we had an alibi around.
Zoe Tate?
I went out, tripped the alarms, and sped away with an empty horse box.
It's clever.
Far too clever for me. You see, it was Kim's plan all along.
Unfortunately, you've already signed a confession that exonerates her.
But now my client's changing it.
Why?
I don't see why I should suffer alone.
I'm going to have to check this out.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Interview terminated at 10:41. Now get this straight, Marchant. If this is rubbish, I'll make sure they send you away for the full straight.
Are you threatening my client, Inspector?
No, of course not. I just want to remind him how terrible prison is.
Oh, believe me, I know.
Hi, Kim.
Hello, how's things?
Pretty good. We've just been treated to a slap-up brunch.
Well, Kim wouldn't be interested. She's eating porridge to empathise with her husband, which is just about all she's doing with her husband. Sorry, your soon-to-be ex-husband.
Surely you can do better than that.
Well, actually, no. I prefer to keep all my best lines for Steve.
And I'd prefer if you shut up, unless you need me to remind you of our little chat.
Wow, that's better than a muzzle. Oh, there you are, Chris. You can tell them your latest conspiracy theory.
Mrs. Marchant?
Yes.
Could you accompany me down to the station, please?
Why not? I haven't had a cup of your lovely coffee in ages.
This better not be down to you.
Well, how could it? I've been with you all morning.
Lovely. Thank you.
Sorry to have kept you.
I'd rather you were sorry about harassing me.
Your husband has changed his confession. Yeah. I received a telephone call last night, and then this morning Mr. Marchant told me a completely new story.
Why would he do that?
Oh, I was hoping you might be able to tell me that.
I saw him yesterday. He never said anything about changing his confession.
Why should he? Seeing his new story insists that the whole thing was your idea.
I see.
We have men checking this claim right now. Now, Mr. Marchant says that the theft was carried out during the day.
It couldn't have. I was at home farm the whole time.
He also told me that you took the horse to him, and then he sold it on.
I think I might know why Steve's saying all this. As I've said, I went to see Steve yesterday, and the day before. You see, I thought I should tell him straight to his face about the divorce.
Divorce?
I couldn't possibly stay married to him after what he's done.
I see.
He took it very badly. And I think this is his way of hitting back at me.
Is it possible?
I had nothing to do with the theft, or Kathy Glover's injury. And the only reason Steve's saying I did is because I'm planning to divorce him.
Right. Take him back to the remand centre.
What's going on?
If I could do you for wasting police time, I would.
Did you arrest her?
If you want to play twisted games with your soon-to-be divorcing you wife, you better leave me out of it.
I will not have my client spoken to in this way.
I don't understand. It happened exactly as I said.
There is no evidence to substantiate any of your claims. And of course, your story did omit one important detail. The fact that your wife wants to divorce you. I wonder if that might explain your sudden change of heart. Now, get him out of my sight.
You idiot, you can't trust her. She's lying.
If you want to be facing an assault charge as well, Mr. Marchant, you just carry on.
Look, she's guilty. It was her idea all along.
Steve, this is doing you no favours. Calm down.
Look, you're all idiots. She's got you twisted around her little finger.
Surprised to see me?
Not really.
Certainly not as surprised as I was to be questioned by Inspector Spaulding.
What do you want?
To have a chat.
Well?
Spaulding let me go, in case you hadn't realised. Not interested in how I got away with it? If you were going to land me in it, you shouldn't have waited for me to start divorce proceedings. Surely you can see how that must have looked.
So what now?
So now you go to prison for a long time. And I can't help smiling about it.
But I changed my statement. And I'll stand by it in court.
Doesn't matter. Doing that only hinders your case. It's much better to cooperate. Well, better for you. I couldn't care less.
But I'm telling the truth. They'll see that.
How? You have no evidence. You've already told them you did it. I'm completely in the clear. For a very good reason.
Yeah, but I know you still love me. You do still love me, don't you?
I don't feel anything except revulsion for you. I can't even look at you.
Okay. We go back to your plan. I'll do the time and we'll split the money.
What money? According to Inspector Spaulding, you've hidden it and won't tell anybody where it is.
You're not going to get away with this.
What are you going to do? Kill me? I know you're capable of that. You see, I can't get that image out of my head. Holding a pillow over Kathy's face.
What's she got to do with anything?
Your eyes, Steve. If you'd seen your eyes, I could never love a man so capable of hate.
You're no angel.
No, but I'm not a murderer.
As good as if you leave me to rot in here. I won't last a year in prison, you know that.
You should have thought about that before you tried to smother Kathy. If I could tell the police about that, I would.
I will do everything in my power to bring you down with me.
You have no power. Because I'm smarter than you. That's why you're in here. And I'm leaving.
Wait. You can't abandon me.
Watch me. Whatever we had is over. And believe that. Because nothing you can do will ever touch me. Oh, I might have known. Felt a chill run up my spine. I turned round, and there you are.
Just like I always will be, Kim, watching your every move.
No, you got to get your kicks somehow, Chris.
This is nothing compared to the thrill I'll get when the judge sentences you and sends you down.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you there.
Really?
You see, I was questioned again by the police. They told me I was free to go. That any suspicions they had were groundless. They were terribly civil about it. In fact, Inspector Spaulding even apologised for the inconvenience.
When the truth comes out, they'll be less civil, trust me.
I'm sorry to laugh, Chris, but you do realise that you are quite mad.
We'll see who has the last laugh. Oh, you brought me down here. What's it about? If you're expecting a cake with a file inside, I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you.
It wasn't easy for me to call you here, Chris. You'll realise why when you hear what I've got to say.
You have my full attention. Go on.
It's about Kim. It looks like you were right all along.
You don't say.
I don't know where to start.
Then let me. While you've been in here cooling your heels, you've had time to think. And now you've come to realise the awful truth about your loving wife. Kim's letting you take the rap while she gets away scot-free.
That's about it, yes.
So why have you got me down here? A shoulder to cry on, or what?
You think you've been pretty clever, piecing together how the robbery was done.
I don't think I've done too bad.
But you haven't nailed Kim yet.
I'm working on it. It's a matter of time.
Time is not on your side, Chris. She has the money, remember? She could do a run at any time.
And?
I can help you. I know all the missing pieces to the puzzle.
What's your suggestion? A partnership?
You're the only other person who knows Kim's guilty. I'm the only one that can prove it. What do you say?
You want us to join forces to bring down Kim?
Something like that. You've waited long enough for your chance, Chris. You may never get another one. Remember, she still has all the money. Enough for a pretty fast getaway.
Okay. You've got a partner. On one condition.
Well, I'm hardly in a position to refuse. What is it?
You tell me every detail of the robbery, regardless of how much it incriminates you.
Okay. I've nothing to lose.
Right. Let's get to work then, shall we? Partner. No, you'll have to go over it again. You haven't told me a single thing that Kim simply couldn't deny. It'd be your word against hers.
I've told you exactly what happened.
Well, tell me again. Must be some little detail that you missed out.
Okay, one more time. I contacted a woman called Dixon who handles stolen thoroughbreds. She said she would take Orsino off our hands.
Yeah, go on.
On the day of the robbery, Kim painted one of the stable horses to make it look like Orsino.
Very artistic.
That was her idea.
Then she brought out the real Orsino to you during the day for the handover with Dixon.
She put the painted stable horse back in the stalls to buy us more time.
Then you faked the robbery at night, though Orsino was long gone.
Right.
This is going to be a very short-lived partnership, Steve. Apart from the involvement of this woman Dixon and painting the horse, I knew all that already. Come back to the Dixon woman later. Let's just go over what happened on the night of the fake robbery.
Right. There you go.
The end of a busy day. I'm having a drink. Would you like one?
Oh, why not? I'll have a brandy, thanks. You know, the atmosphere's so much better when Christopher isn't haunting the place. Where is he, by the way?
Out. He had an appointment.
Well, let's hope it's a long meeting. Oh. Thanks. You know, it's strange to think that not that long ago, this was my home. Frank and I used to sit in here some evenings, unwind after...
You've been through a lot recently. I have to admit, though, you cope with your crisis very well.
Well, it has been hard, but it'll be a lot easier now the police know I'm innocent.
Well, here's to a happier future.
Yeah.
So it looks like Kim planned the perfect crime after all.
Yeah, until she ruined it herself.
Oh, what do you mean?
Everything was going like clockwork. I was on my way home, almost in the clear. And then she made that stupid phone call.
Phone call? Explain.
Kim and Zoe were in the cottage playing with James while I was supposed to be upstairs making phone calls.
While you were actually committing the fake robbery?
Right. Then out of the blue, Ashley turns up wanting to know something about the fun run.
And?
Kim panicked and called me on my mobile. As I was answering, I took my eye off the road for a moment. And that's when I hit Kathy. She appeared out of nowhere. It was an accident.
Kim called you in the middle of the robbery?
Yeah, that's right.
I see. Well, well, well.
Have you given any thought to your long-term future?
After Steve's convicted, you mean?
I suppose. Sorry, I didn't mean to pry.
Well, with a lot of hard work, I can restore the stud's reputation. After that, who knows?
So you'll be staying on?
Why shouldn't I? What little I have left is here. I just hope Chris can put all this behind him. We can establish some kind of working relationship.
Well, you certainly have guts, I'll give you that.
All I know is whatever life throws at me, somehow I manage to cope.
So, Kim completely blew it. She panicked and called you about Ashley's fun run?
Yeah. What?
As far as I'm concerned, the fun's about to begin. Don't you see? The call she made will be logged by the phone company. The time it was made and who it was made to. Why would Kim call you on your mobile if she thought you were upstairs?
Well, she wouldn't.
Unless she knew you weren't in the house. That phone bill will be in the office. Kim's mobile's paid for by Home Farm. All I have to do is find it.
And we'll have the evidence we need.
Of course. Partner.
So I said to him, in my most formal legal manner, well, sir...
If I were to do that, it would redefine the whole area of lawyer-client privilege.
What's the joke?
Oh, you wouldn't get it, Chris. You need a sense of humour.
How was your meeting?
Oh, someone wanted to talk to me about a business proposition, a sort of joint venture. Only it turns out I don't need them.
Oh, lucky escape for someone.
No, I don't think so, Summer.
Well, I've got to pick James up from Zoe's. Good night, Laura.
You two are getting a bit cosy, aren't you?
Just trying to maintain a good working relationship.
Of course. Right, I've got some work to finish. I'll see you in the morning.
Kim.
Oh, he's just about given up on you. He's asleep.
Well, where have you been?
I've been into town, museums. Oh, new boots. We thought we'd call on you for our tea.
Kim, the police have been questioning me all afternoon.
Why?
They're convinced you're involved in the theft. I know you weren't. I'm prepared to swear it in court. Everything's going to be all right.
Mrs. Marchant, we've been looking for you.
This is harassment. I've already answered your questions.
Your husband has made a statement incriminating you, and your alibi's collapsed. Is there someone who can look after your child, Mrs. Marchant?
Why?
I'm arresting you in connection with the theft from Home Farm stables.
What?
You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defense if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Shall we go? Settling in all right, Mrs. Marchant?
I doubt I'll be here long. There's no evidence against me, remember?
Oh, but I'm afraid there is.
If you're referring to my husband's testimony...
A very elaborate plan, if I may say so. Your husband, most cooperative. He helped us to unravel it.
He's lying.
Come on, Mrs. Marchant. We know there was no theft that night. We know you switched horses earlier in the day. And we know that it was your idea to invite Zoe Tate round for an alibi. Everything was going according to plan, wasn't it, Mrs. Marchant? Until, as in all good mysteries, the vicar turns up. And that's where it all went wrong. So why don't you save us all a lot of bother and confess?
He really has spun you a yarn. I never realised the police were quite so gullible.
Where's the money, Mrs. Marchant?
I haven't the vaguest idea.
Do you know what this is? It's your mobile phone bill. Yeah. It shows quite clearly that you rang your husband's mobile while he was, pardon the expression, still on the job.
I want to talk to my solicitor.
Yes, I'm sure you do. Your solicitor's waiting for you upstairs, and she looks just as worried as you do.
How many more times, Inspector? Anybody could have made that phone call. It proves nothing.
On its own? No. However, that call ties in perfectly with the Reverend Ashley Thomas's testimony, which states quite clearly that at precisely the time that call was made, you went outside on the pretext of emptying the bin. As one does. Bit of a coincidence, that, don't you think?
My client doesn't wish to answer that question.
Do you know what I think, Mrs. Marchant? I think a jury might find that a bit odd, too. In fact, a jury would probably find that incriminating. However, we shall just have to wait and see. Won't we, Mrs. Marchant? Perhaps your court appearance today might give you something to think about. Now, moving on. About Miss Helen Dixon. I presume you have heard of a Miss Dixon? Ah, yes, I thought so. Perhaps you don't realize how serious the situation is.
Look, I'm not answering any more questions until I've been allowed to see my son.
Inspector, this is getting us nowhere.
Missing your son, are you, Mrs. Marchant?
With respect, my client needs a rest.
Yes, I am. He doesn't know where I am or what's happened. I should be taking him to playgroup now. Of course I'm missing my son. Do you have children, Inspector? Or are you always, pardon the expression, on the job?
Interview terminated at 9:32. You obviously love your son, Mrs. Marchant. So, may I remind you, unless I get your full cooperation in this matter, it could be a long while before you get to see him. He probably won't remember you by the time you get out. Now, I'd think about that if I were you, Mrs. Marchant. See you in court. You'll be pleased to know that Mrs. Marchant was formally charged last night and will be appearing in the magistrate's court this afternoon.
Good. Let's see how she likes it behind bars.
So, where do we go from here, Inspector?
That depends on Mr. Marchant.
I'll come.
Where's the money, Mr. Marchant?
My client's already answered that question.
Do you lot never give up?
Not until we get what we want.
How many more times? The only person who knows where the money is Kim.
Oh, you disappoint me, Mr. Marchant. I thought we had a deal.
Onward and upward.
Sorry. No money, no deal.
Inspector!
I've told you I don't know where it is.
In that case, things look pretty bleak. Look, Mr. Marchant, just because you've got your wife involved doesn't alter anything. How many more times do you intend to change your story before we finally get to the truth?
But what I've told you is the truth.
Have you ever heard the story of the boy who cried wolf?
Inspector, this is getting ridiculous.
Yes, I agree. Interview terminated at 11:08. Well, Mr. Marchant, looks like you're still facing an attempted murder charge. You'll probably get 12 years. 10 if you're lucky. That's a very long time. Think about it, Mr. Marchant.
All rise. Case 21. Kim Jane Marchant, represented by Miss Caroline Prescott.
Is your name Kim Jane Marchant?
It is.
And do you live at Pear Tree Cottage, Main Street, Emmerdale?
I do.
Kim Jane Marchant, you're charged on 2 counts. Charge 1. On the 15th of September of this year, you did stage and execute a theft at Home Farm, Emmerdale, with Mr. Stephen Marchant. Do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Charge 2. Together with Mr. Marchant, you did attempt to defraud your insurers of the sum of £300,000. On the second charge, do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
You may sit down, Mrs. Marchant.
As you're probably aware, my client is currently on her own with a young son. Now, I see that there is some concern that she could be a possible flight risk. In answer to that, I'd like to point out to the court that my client has a completely clean record. Indeed, not even so much as a parking ticket against her name. To deny her bail would cause much hardship, not only to her but also to her son. I would therefore urge leniency.
Thank you, Miss Prescott. Could you stand, Mrs. Marchant? Having now heard the facts in this case and taken everything into consideration, I'm afraid I must agree with the police. The defendant does pose a possible risk, especially in the light of the fact that the proceeds from the alleged theft have not as yet been recovered. However, I must also take into consideration her previous good character and, indeed, her duties as a mother. Therefore, provided the defendant is willing to surrender her passport and report to Hotton Police Station on a regular basis, I see no reason for not setting bail. However, because of the delicate nature of this case, I have no alternative but to set bail at £25,000. In the meantime, the defendant is remanded in custody to Hotton Remand Centre. Case referred to the Crown Court. Date to be advised.
All rise.
Afternoon, Laura. Chris. Thought I'd gone for good, did you? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you both.
I don't believe this.
Kim, why don't you and I go through to the office? I need to talk to you about the stud.
What about it?
Well, we need to discuss its future.
There is nothing to discuss.
Well, Tara thinks there is.
Zoe, could you get James out of the car, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
Zoe.
There's nothing I can do about it, though, is there? I mean, Tara wants to sell off the stud, and well, Laura tells me I'm in no position to stop it. It's so unfair.
Once your name's cleared, everything will calm down.
Yeah, but I can't stay in a partnership with somebody who thinks I'm trying to swindle the business.
Well, very soon everyone will know that you didn't.
I can't thank you enough for this, Zoe. Nobody else would have stood by me. Oh, I'm so glad I invited you round that evening. But, Zoe, I really don't want to cause a row between you and Chris.
Chris can say what he likes. It's not as if I haven't heard it all before. Now go home, get some rest, and spend some time with James.
Actually, I don't suppose you could look after him for half an hour, could you?
Yes, of course. Why?
There's just somebody I need to see. See you later.
What the hell are you doing here?
Kathy, we need to talk. I
want to talk.
You stay away from here.
Biff, it's all right. So they've released you?
If only. I'm out on bail.
Oh, good.
Look, it wasn't Kim who tried to run me over.
No, but she's still involved, though.
I didn't do anything.
No, she didn't. She had nothing to do with any of what Steve did. Go sit yourself down.
I didn't know if they'd managed to turn you against me as well. Everyone's convinced I'm involved.
Take no notice. They don't know the facts. People round here delight in bringing on other people's downfalls. Always have done.
So, how are you feeling?
Fine. I think I've pretty much made a full recovery.
You don't know what this has done to me. I thought that you might have, I don't know, permanently suffered as a result of what he did.
Oh, they think I've lost my mind, and they think you gave Steve his orders. You and I need to stick together.
It's just so hard, though, when everyone's so against you, so sure you're guilty. They must really hate me.
Who cares what they think? I don't give two hoots what they say about me. I'm gonna bring Alice back tomorrow.
Yeah, I bet you missed her. It's terrible being without James. I thought of being locked away, not allowed to see him.
You won't be locked away.
Wish I had your confidence.
You won't. I'm gonna tell everybody what that man is like. I am right behind you. And if I hear anybody start accusing you, I will wipe the floor with them.
Yes, definitely.
Everything all right?
I'm still upset about Chris.
I'm sorry.
Well, don't apologise. If I was worried about upsetting him, I wouldn't have stood by you in the first place.
Yeah, but he is your brother.
Yes. Thank you. As far as he's concerned, I have to go along with everything he says. Well, I'm not going to. Not when I know he's wrong.
Thanks, Zoe. If it wasn't for you, I don't think I'd stand a hope in hell.
Well, whatever happens, you're not to worry about James. I love having him.
What do you mean?
I don't mean it's going to come to that, but if things don't go our way...
But I haven't done anything.
I know. But we have got a fight on our hands. It's your story against Steve's. Kim, I'm not going to desert you.
It's true, though, isn't it? I could be locked away for something I didn't do. What the hell do you want?
Just wanted to congratulate you.
Sorry?
Well, very clever the way you've worked everything out. Right down to picking Zoe as your alibi.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, not only have you got yourself a credible witness that'll back you all the way, but you managed to turn me against my own sister.
Oh, heaven forbid that I should have split the Tates.
Oh, I shouldn't get too sure of yourself.
Why can't you get it into your head that I'm just as much of a casualty as Kathy is?
No, please.
I knew nothing about what Steve was planning. Why can't you believe that? I have lost my husband. Every penny I've got, my job, but I've still got James. Now, it'll sound strange to you, but something good has come out of this. I can finally realise what's really important. And when this is over, once the trial's finished, and it's finally clear to everyone that I am innocent, I'll be free to start rebuilding my life.
You're almost convincing yourself, aren't you? I mean, Zoe might have been stupid enough to pay up on your behalf, but she'll see soon enough how brilliantly you've played her.
The only thing I did that night was invite a friend round for a meal.
Save it for the jury, Kim. I know you're guilty, and unfortunately for you, so did the police.
If I was guilty, do you honestly think I'd be hanging around here?
You're asking me why you're not on the other side of the planet by now. Haven't got any money, have you?
You know I haven't.
And all these people watching your every move. It can't be very convenient if you were hoping to dig up a few $100,000.